In this video, I'll give you 7 tips on how to increase your eBay sales. Plus, at the end of the video, I'll give you an extra bonus tip that I think will really help you. Hey YouTube friends, welcome to RK Treasure Center. My name is Roy. Well, right now I'm in the back of my eBay room looking at my bins and my inventory on these back shelves. I'm looking at items that may have been sitting for a while and haven't sold, and I kind of want to know why. I kind of understand why. A lot of items that you have that sit on shelves for a while may be not needs, but wants and desires that people have. And that's part of the reason. I have a lot of older stuff or vintage or antique stuff sitting back in these bins back in here. Not all of them, but some of them. So the other reason I want to know is maybe my listing isn't right. Maybe I have a price too high. Maybe I have the listing title incorrect for the item. Or maybe the picture is just not good enough and I need to take better quality pictures. Whatever the reason is, you may be running into the same reason. And so you have to sit back every once in a while and actually go look. Just don't look at your little app on your eBay store and pull up the pictures or pull it up and say, well, I could change this. Maybe you actually need to go and physically look at the item and think, why isn't this item selling? And then do you look at it and see something that you didn't put down in your listing or description that you needed to add? On the other hand, some things just could be, like I said, they could just be incorrect. They could be items that somebody doesn't want, like right now. Like I have these Selena tumblers, these little coffee mug tumblers. Now I've had these for a little while. I've sold some. When I first listed them, they sold right away. So I'm sure the eBay algorithm threw them out there a little bit faster. But now they've slowed down. And it could be that people don't want a Selena tumbler. It could be that it's just the wrong time of the year. It could be it's the wrong season. It could be eBay's not pushing it out like I hope they would. Maybe I need to update it, change the price. Maybe I need to change the quantity or description. There's so many different things and reasons why they maybe have slowed down and not been selling. Some of the other things, like I said, are not only just wants and desires and needs, but it's what somebody's looking at. If you say you're looking for a coffee mug. So for instance, I have this SpongeBob coffee mug. Let's say in the title, I have listed it as SpongeBob Christmas because they're wearing Santa Claus hats. I listed the title as SpongeBob Christmas Blue Cup. All right. But someone who's looking for a certain cup may be wanting a coffee mug. So in the search bar, all they're typing is coffee mug. Well, if I listed this as a SpongeBob Blue Christmas Cup, coffee mug is never going to show up. So on my title, I want to put all the descriptors I can so that this will pop up when they search for it, because SpongeBob is not necessarily somebody you're looking for. If somebody wants this, it's a want or a desire. It's not a need. So that's what I need to do. That's why I'm going through and looking at everything, and that's why I'm rambling on about this conversation, is go through and make sure that you look at things that you had that were sitting for a while. Why are they sitting for a while? Again, could be something as simple as prices. Anyway, I sold 2 items today. I'm really happy about those. I've already pulled them. They're over on the table over here. So let's go and I'll tell you what those items are. I was really happy about them because they sold within about an hour of each other and they both sold for the same price. So let's see what they are. This is a blue roaster. It's cast iron, made in France. This is a Miracle Forever made by Lancome perfume. It's a discontinued perfume. They still make Miracle, but they don't make Miracle Forever. And I listed those items. They both sold recently within an hour of each other. And I've got $100 for this roaster, and I got $100 for that perfume. I was really excited. 2 sales within an hour, both $100 a piece. And those are my only 2 sales that I had. Those are the only 2 sales I had overnight. Can't complain about that. I'm really happy, really excited. Hey, my goal is to have at least $100 worth of sales each day. I got 2 sales with $100 a piece. I'm really happy. Now this may have to go out FedEx, so I'm going to have to wrap that up really good. And this is going to be perfume, so it's going to go out by UPS ground. Anyway, I'm going to get those items wrapped up, and once I get them wrapped up, I'll get right back to you and we'll talk about other things. All right, so I'm on my way to FedEx and to the post office. I got both those packages wrapped up, they're ready to go. And since it's going to be a little bit of a drive, I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to tell you that in this video, I'll give you 7 tips on how to increase your eBay sales. Plus, at the end of the video, I'll give you an extra bonus tip that I think will really help you. All right, so I've already kind of given you the first tip at the beginning of the video, and that was what I was doing was checking my inventory. But what you want to do is go through your eBay listings and you want to look at your titles for items that aren't selling too good. Or anytime you're posting a listing, you want to check your titles. You want to make sure that you have all the keywords relevant to your posting. I know sometimes you can list something and it just doesn't seem like there's going to be keywords for it, and sometimes there's going to be more keywords than you're allowed to put in there. And what I mean by keywords is I'm talking about description things. Like when we talked about the coffee cup, you've got coffee cup, teacup, coffee mug, hot cocoa mug. In other words, you can see cup, mug, and some of them other things are what people might look up. If I'm wanting to buy a coffee cup, I'm going to type in coffee cup. If I'm going to want a teacup, I'm going to type in teacup. But if I have coffee, tea, hot cocoa, mug, cup in my description, I've covered all of those. So sometimes you have room for all that in your title and sometimes you don't. But you also want to keep it direct and to the point. You don't want to have too much that's going to just boggle the mind when they read it. You want it to just sing through and be, when you read it, you want it to just ride right through and it sounds comfortable to the person that's going to buy it. All right, the second part of that tip number 1, I said the title and the photographs, is going to be make sure that your photographs are clear. Because remember, a photograph is like 1,000 words. And you want to get the best descriptive keywords you can in your title to bring people to the product you're selling. And then you want to have the best pictures you can because, well, let's face it, pictures is what's going to sell, not just the title. You're not going to go buy something online that you can't see a picture of. Unless it has excellent descriptors, you want to be able to see what you're buying. So, you know, picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay, tip number 2 is pricing. Make sure that your prices are incompatible with the other items that are listed. If you're selling on eBay or anywhere else, make sure they're compatible. That perfume that I sold for $100, well, if it was new in the box, would be worth anywhere from $150 to $200. It didn't have its box. It was 99% full. It was probably pretty full, but somebody might have sprayed it for a test or a smell or something like that. So I called it 99% full without a box. Used, they're selling anywhere from 80 to 125, and some even were 140. But I figured, okay, I paid $10 for the bottle of perfume, so I went ahead and listed it and sold it for $100. And it sold right away because $100 is a good comparable sell to the other items that are out there on eBay with the exact same listing. The other thing was the roaster. That's a roaster made in France. They sell very high. A roaster like that can sell anywhere from, again, around $80 to $170, depending on the type of roaster it is. It's made in France, but just depending on the size, the quality, and the demand. So I figured with the price I paid for it, $100 was an acceptable buy. I'm well gonna almost triple my money for the profit that I paid for it. So let's go ahead and list it at $100. And it sold right away for $100, plus the buyer paid the shipping on top. So the buyer actually had about $126 all in. So that's why I say make sure your prices are comparable. It's really important. You can list higher prices and sometimes they will sell, maybe it'll sit for a while. But if you want your items to move and make money, you don't want to sit on an item. An item that's just sitting on a shelf is not making any money. And the longer it takes, it's just costing you money. So put your prices in comparable and in comparison with other listings, and put it around a mid-range mark, mid-range to higher. Don't sell too slow because then you won't make any money either. So make sure it's about the mid-range to mid-high range, and you'll sell it and you'll make a profit. All right, so now I'm at the FedEx office, and that leads me to tip number 3. Make sure that your whether you charge shipping or you have free shipping, that it's also comparable with them prices. And offer a return policy. Some people think that you're going to have you're going to get a lot of returns, or people are going to be unfair, or you're going to have scammers. And yes, there could be that out there. But I've been selling on eBay for almost 10 years. I offer a return policy of 30 days. And I can say that probably out of the thousands and thousands of items that I've sold, I have very few returns. My return rate is probably 1% or less out of that. You know, you're saying 1 out of 100 items or less. So that's a pretty good rate. And like I said, I offer 30 days. So have a generous return policy, and people are going to feel safe and comfortable knowing they can buy from you. And then if the product is not what they want, they can know they can return it. And as long as they return it in a good condition or an acceptable condition, then they don't have anything to worry about. So offer a generous return policy, and don't worry about the returns. They're going to be okay. All right, so I left the FedEx office without a hitch, dropped off the package. Now I'm heading home, and that leads us to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is emails. You're going to get emails, whether it's questions about an item that you're selling, or maybe a person got something in the item and it arrived damaged and they want to know what you'll do, or they want to send a return. Whatever, you're going to get emails. No matter what emails you get, answer them quick, fast, and be very, very, very courteous. Think about your answer as a response. If you were the one reading your answer, does it make you smile? Does it make you feel less heartbroken if the item arrived damaged? You know what I'm saying? Is say you got a general question about an email and you forgot to put a size, or maybe it was a used item you're selling and you didn't put anything in there about scratches or damages or dents, whether it has any or not, and you didn't say anything. And so they ask a question and you go ahead and respond to it. When you respond to it, give them all kinds of information. Be real courteous and really sell it. Plus, eBay's got this great thing where you can reply with an offer. So if you're selling an item for $20 and you can sell it for $18 and make some money, reply with a great answer, plus maybe drop it down to $18. Hey, thanks for the question. This is the answer. And since you're so interested in it, I'll be willing to sell it to you at $18. I'm going to tell you what, I have made a lot of sales. Out of the thousands of items I've sold, I have made a ton of sales just because of responses I've done for emails. And the same goes with emails that are maybe more negative, because you're going to get those. Put yourself in that person's shoe. Maybe you sold an item and they waited for it for 4 or 5 days. They finally got it and it arrived broken. Well, that's going to be upsetting to them. And let's face it, I don't like to call anybody, no matter what it is, customer service wise or anything, because I'm always afraid of the kind of person I'm going to get at the other end of the line. Well, it's kind of the same thing. They're sending an email and they're already heartbroken, distraught, or a little upset, and now they're sending you an email. And if the email sounds a little bit harsh, sit back, take a breath, relax, and answer it calmly, and collectively put a lot of good information or a good response into it, so that it brings down and de-escalates the situation and makes them feel comfortable. Again, I've had items where somebody got something, it didn't arrive in the condition they wanted, or maybe they even want to do a return, and they sent me an email and it kind of started off nasty, but I sent them a response and I'm very courteous. I give them a nice answer. If it's about a return, I give them a long return policy and that what we can do and how can we resolve the situation if it needs to be returned. If an item arrived broken, I give an answer of what I'm going to do about it, and I really am like, have a great day. I give good answers at the end, and then at the end I say, have a great day. I hope things are going well. Take care. Be safe. Whatever I need to do. And let me tell you, I have received a lot of emails back and made sales because of that. I've had returns and people turned right around and made purchases on something else just because they said I was very courteous and they liked the way I handled my business. So that's my answer for you, is make sure that when it comes to emails, answer them with a lot of answer, not just quick, fast to the point, and you're just being dry and rough. Be fast and be courteous. Those are very, very important factors. All right, so now that I'm back into the eBay center, you're going to see where all these tips kind of roll together. So now we're going to talk about tip number 5. And tip number 5 has to do with maintaining eBay seller status, or maintaining any kind of seller status, as long as it's good. The reason I say that is I was looking at Instagram the other day, and I like to follow new people that have been selling short time on eBay to see their journey. I watched one the other day where they've been selling for about 5 months, 6 months, and they just reached top rated seller status. And they were so excited. They posted it. You could just tell the excitement when they did the post. And I had forgotten that excitement because I reached top rated seller status like 8 years ago. And it is very important. All the things that like top rated seller status does. For eBay, for one, it makes great shipping discounts. You get a shipping discount for the better seller and better rater you are. So that's really important because that's money in your pocket. Instead of mailing an item that may cost a normal $12 to ship off, it may only cost you $7 to ship off or $8 to ship off. Well, that's $4 or $5 savings. You may only get a $2 savings. Either way, it's money in your pocket. Second of all, think about your customers. Would you want to go to a restaurant that had only 1 star out of 5 stars and the reviews were just horrible, talking about the food and everything like that, or the environment? Would you want to go to a restaurant like that? Would you want to take your car to a garage to get worked on if the maintenance always has on all their reviews poor reviews and 1 star, and their reviews are like, well, I get my car worked on, I have to bring it back and forth, they broke something else, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Would you want to go to a place like that? Well, think about it as a seller. You want to have good feedback. I've got 100% positive feedback. I'm a top rated seller status. I've been doing this for about 10 years, and I have great sales a lot of times because of that status that I have. It means a lot to people. They know that they can look at my feedback and read what it says. They can look at the items that have sold, and you can too. You can go to my eBay store and you can see my items that have sold, and you can see what all I've done. And you can see that with the feedback that's left, they know and feel comfortable that purchasing from me, they're not going to have any problems. And I'm not going to make sure that they have any problems. I want the transaction to be 100% perfect and everybody's happy in the end. All right, so now tip number 6. Tip number 6 is very good because it has to go with your sales. You want to be able to list as often as you can, primarily every day. I try to list items every day. Even if it's just 1 item a day, I try to list something new in the store. 2 reasons. 1, a lot of people talk about and know about eBay algorithm. eBay algorithm is going to push forward the stuff that's going to be faster selling, have a better description, title. It's also going to put forth stores or people that are selling more often. And it's also going to take your item and bring it to the top. If you've got an item that you have that's listed today, it's a fresh item and it's new. Whereas you have one that's been sitting for 6 months, it's kind of like on the back shelf, and unless you have it promoted or you go through, and which I'll tell about in a second, you can go through and refresh it, then it's sitting on the back shelf and it's kind of forgotten about. Or if somebody goes into your store and they start running through all your items, then they might come across it. But how often does that really happen? How often have you, as a person, ever gone to an eBay store just randomly looking for 1 item to hope you might find it in that person's eBay store or what that one individual eBay is selling? You're not going to do it. Well, it's the same kind of thing. If you list items periodically, quite often, and like I said, at least like I do, at least 1 item a day, it's refreshing that eBay algorithm. And it's allowing people to come to your store because they're going to promote that item. They're going to push that item. It doesn't mean you have to have a promotion because eBay has promoted listings. Promoted listings probably do help. I've used promoted listings, but I don't use it on every item. But I've sold items that aren't on promoted listing. And the reason being is because it's a fresh new item. A lot of the items I sell are something that's been listed in a short amount of time. Other items that are maybe not as popular, maybe it's a holiday seasonal item or maybe a unique item. Well, unless somebody searches for that, it probably is going to sit for a little bit on the shelf. Now, how you can change that is use the eBay bulk editing tool. If you can probably do it if you don't have a store. It's a lot easier if you do have a store, but if you don't, either way, you can refresh your items. If you just click on an item and change 2 words, take the same 2 words and just move it from one place to the other on the title, and then refresh that listing, you've just refreshed the listing. You just brought it back to the top again. You've rejuvenated it. Or you can use the bulk editing tool on eBay and click on multiple items, and maybe you don't have to change it. Just bring them up, click refresh, and then put it back out there. That'll change things. Maybe if you have something with a best offer, you take all the best offers off for a day, and then that way it refreshes those items. Put them back on the next day if you like best offers, or if you want all your items to have a best offer. Then go back through and just bulk edit and put best offers back on. Again, that's refreshing those items. The more often that you can refresh an item, especially older items that's been sitting on the back of your shelves in your store, or things that you've had selling for a while that haven't been selling, if you refresh them and bring them up, it puts that eBay algorithm, it tells that it's kind of like a item that's important, and it pushes it back towards the top again. So that's very important. So make sure you do listings that way, and you bulk edit, or you just edit new items. Again, go back through, check your titles, check your pictures, whatever you need to do to make that item more appealable that's been sitting for a while, so it'll sell quickly. But that's what's very important, is listing. And it's just a natural algorithm that if you list items, eBay sees that you're listing, and they're going to want to push out your items. It's in the algorithm. All right, now we're up to tip number 7. And tip number 7 is marketing and showing your products through social media. Well, I do eBay, and I have a Instagram, and I also have a Facebook. And I can't say I do a lot on either one. But what I can say is marketing through social media has become a big time boost and seller for a lot of people. A lot of people have made millions of dollars selling items through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. I mean, you name it, and if it's out there, they can market it. Plus, there's a lot of different selling platforms. And the more that you can use all these different things and put them together, all these different media sources and put them together, the more chances are you're going to make sales. If you're one that does Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, all these different places, and you're really good at it, and you can do YouTube, or you can share on all kinds of social media, then the items that you're going to share out there are going to go to a broader range of customers and other people. You're going to go through friends, through family, through acquaintances, people you didn't know, and it's just going to get shared out, and eventually you'll make sales. And the more you can put your products out there, the more sales you're going to do. Think of it like a store. If you go to a name brand chain store, they have their items, and you walk in and you look at it. But how many of them advertise on TV or radio, newspapers, magazines, plus Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those places like that, Pinterest? They put their products out there everywhere. They have sales, they have promotions, they have it everywhere. So it's kind of the same thing. If you have a platform and you're just sitting selling, say like I do, I sell on eBay, and you're just selling on eBay, well, everybody that comes and looks on eBay might come across your item, or if they're looking for that specific item, or they happen to catch it on a little pop-up or whatever. But if you can use other sources, again, the more media sources you can use, or the social media, you can make more sales. And that's something I'm working on, and I've been trying to get more apt to it. I think I'm a little bit older, and I'm more in the older generation, so being technical savvy is not too much. But for a lot of you viewers, maybe you're younger than I am, and you were raised in this digital age, and therefore you already have the understanding and knowledge what it takes. So if you do, man, jump on that bandwagon and run with it, because you are going to make some money. All right, so that's my 7 essential tips for increasing your sales and making money on eBay. Now, I told you there would be a bonus tip or an 8th tip, so I'm going to tell you what the bonus tip is. The bonus tip or 8th tip is don't go broke trying to make money. So what do I mean by that? Well, we've all heard those rags to riches stories about that person that was down on their luck. Maybe they were homeless or just broke, and they found an item dumpster diving. Maybe they saw somebody throwing out something in the trash and they pulled it out, and it happened to be a priceless art piece, and they turned around and sold it and made $1 million. Hey, that's great. Or you've had those people that just had this instinct that this was going to be a great seller come Christmas time, so they went to all the stores they could, bought up all this one item that they could, and turned around, and come Christmas time, it was a hot seller, and they were right, and they made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, that's a really good stories. They don't happen all the time. So let's face it, we all got to work hard for our money. And the idea is to work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to give you a little process to work on, and you can do this daily, weekly, monthly. Don't do it yearly. But let me give you an example of the perfume bottle that I sold earlier. I bought this perfume bottle for $10, or this perfume for $10. I sold it for $100. Now, that's really good profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take $10 of that $100 to replace the original $10 cost of that perfume. That leaves me $90 or 90%. So take 10% off the top to replace the costs. If it's a little bit more and you got to go to 20%, then that's fine. Take off 20% and replace your costs of goods. Now what I want you to do is take another 20% and put it away. And what that other 20% is, if maybe you need new shelves, or you need some new mailing stuff, bubble wrap, poly mailers, envelopes. Maybe you need a new light. Maybe you're going to need a new camera. You're going to take that 20%, and that's what it's going to go to for that. Now, you may not need that stuff, and you can put that 20% aside. But that's what I'd like you to do, is take 20% and put it away for you for needs. We're all going to need ink for our computer, things like that. So the next thing I want you to do is take another 30%. And that 30% is for your pocket. That's right. Take 30% and put it in your pocket. And if you only want to take 20%, that's up to you. But at a minimum, take 20%. But I'm suggesting take 30% and put it in your pocket. And that's not to be used for eBay or rebuying stock or anything like that. That's just for you. For instance, I sold that item for $100. If I take $30 and put it in my pocket and I want to go out and eat a dinner, I've paid for my dinner. If I want to use it to go buy gas, I can go buy gas. If I want to go out to a movie, I can use it to go to a movie. Either way, I'm getting enjoyment of knowing I sold an item and made a profit, and I get to enjoy some and reap some of the benefits. So that's what I want you to do. My suggestion is 30%. If you only want to do 20%, that's fine. All right, so now you've got a remainder. And I know we broke some math down here and there a little bit different. Should be about 40%. So now you've got 40% left over. Well, now you can go buy more stock. And again, if you only wanted to put 20% away for you, or you didn't want to put anything away that month for packaging supplies or mailing supplies or anything you wanted to do like that, you can add it to that. In other words, you got plenty of money to go buy new stock. But don't take all that money that you made from that one item and turn around and go buy more stock. Because sure enough, you're going to need a new light, or you are going to need some new boxes to mail stuff items or envelopes. You're going to need packaging tape. You're going to need a new shelf for the new items that you're going to go out and buy. And you're not going to have it. And so now you're going to think about dipping into your personal money or your savings. And that's what I do. I separate my eBay money from my personal money. And that's what you need to do. So that's my eBay tip to you. My 8th eBay bonus tip is don't go broke trying to make money. All the resellers out there, go out and find it, sell it, profit. Everyone else, all the viewers, subscribers, and people who just like to watch, take care, be safe, be kind to one another, and have a great day. Bye-bye.